Okay, welcome to day 16. As I search for my glasses, I'm going to get to the point where I can't see. I'm going to have to have glasses just to find my glasses. And that's just something that happens being an artist. Your eyes go bad, and then old age doesn't help. Okay, so we're going to do faces today. We're going to do faces. Yeah, last video was more of a lesson. This one is going to be more drawing and a lesson turned into. So your weaknesses are some things that you need to be doing more of. If you're strong at doing the body, a lot of people want to get every muscle in there just right, to have their character just ripped. But then their faces are weak, and especially their hands are weak. So you need to just take a couple of days off or a day to do your weak things like your hands, because if you're doing comics, if you're doing any kind of picture, the one or the two things that tell the story are your hands and your faces. So those need to be the strong points. Let's say, since I have this picture in front of me, you look at all the detail and so forth and the wrinkles in the costume, but of course you're going to look at the face, because the face is telling the expression and the hands are going to help convey the expression as well. So there's just a couple things that you have to work on, especially if you're weak at that. As I say, people want to draw the body, and want to get that ripped, but then the faces are lagging, especially when it's time for expressions and so forth. Then they don't have it, or the expression with the hand, if you're just relaxed, or if you're a little tense, or you're nervous, or whatever. So that's a couple things you're gonna have to do. Just take a weakness day. Say, okay, I'm weak at this, so let me do that. So I'm gonna do faces today, because I've been doing a lot of bodies, and then not enough faces. Because when I do my action pose positions, I don't do the face because I leave it blank, so that you can put your face in there or your character's face in there. So I could say I'm weak with faces. So what I did is I pulled this off the internet, these faces off the internet. And I'm going to draw a couple of these faces just to get loose, but I'm not going to draw line for line. I would never make my eyes like this big on them. So I'm going to draw my faces just using this as a guide. I don't think I'm going to draw all of them. I'm probably just going to pick a couple of them out and just draw them, but it just helps to get loose, and it helps you to develop your skills in that certain area. Sorry about my voice. I just ate a Pop-Tart, and some of it didn't want to go down. I wanted to try to climb back out of my throat, out of my mouth, because it didn't want to be eaten. So okay, so we're going to do a couple of these, and maybe I'll ink them, I don't know. But it's just basically to help me get loose in the face department. So a lot of people can't, they say they can't really do the ovals, and then I showed this a couple times. If you can do a rectangle like that, the best you can, then just kind of like round those corners off. Just round those corners off. And if you're doing a man, it'll be flat. Let me use this, it might make it a little easier. You have your rectangle, just round your corner off, round that corner off. And if it's a man, you will have that square chin, just go like this, a little bit at the bottom, and then go up, and then go up like that, and then come straight down. And that's good enough to have your man. And if he's muscular, you have your neck follow that same line as the chin, like that, as the jaw, like that. Give him that little muscular neck. Let's just put a mouth here, nose here, and eyes, so you can see what I'm saying as far as the neck, like that. So now if I want to do a female, or let's just do this. If I want to draw somebody that's not so buff, I'll bring the neck in a little bit more. Am I recording? Yes, I am. I'll bring the neck in a little bit, so he won't be so buff like that, and especially for a woman. So if I'm doing a woman and you can't really get that oval right, rectangle, then same thing, round it, and then here I'll do more of a point. Instead of a square, I'll do more of a V, and then come up like that, and then round it off. So here's my head. I'm coming down, doing that little V. Kind of like that. It's a little off because you're supposed to pull the pen, not push it. And whenever I push it, it kind of screws up. So and then her neck is not going to be as wide like that. It's going to come in and then slope out. And there's women don't have the big shoulders. They have the little shoulders, and then Even that shouldn't have went up. It should just go straight down like that. It should kind of like slope off like you rolling off of a cliff. Shouldn't go up unless she's like, I don't know where it is. I don't know, but you know, yeah. So, and again, you have the mouth again here, nose, and then the eyes. So you have that. It looks like an alien woman. So you have that more of that egg shape, and this guy has more of the square shape because he's like, you know, Superman type. All right, Brian, start drawing faces. Get off of this. So it just makes it easier when you draw, and it's kind of the same thing if you're doing a 3/4 view. You do the same thing, and then just take your line here to the side, and this is going, of course, this is going to be the bottom of your chin, the center bottom of your chin, and you just come up and up. You'll see when I'm starting to draw faces. So let's just draw this one real quick. Oval. And I just draw the oval until I'm just like comfortable with it, and then pull this back a little bit more. Hopefully you can see this. My monitor is like tripping with the color. And then I say angle is going to be here. And remember, I'm drawing these guys things. So usually I used to go half, half, and half. Like I go half of that for the eyes. Like this whole thing, I go half of it. And when I say half, half, and half, let me show you. Here's my line, top and bottom. So half of this would be about right here, would have been the eyes. Half of this would have been the nose, and half of this would have been the mouth. And I used to draw it like that, but then I'd have all this head up here, and I'm like, wait a minute, well, I'm doing something wrong. So I take it up higher, a little higher than half, and then it was working out. So, but for now, I'll just gesture where I want to get my stuff, basically kind of like that. You kind of like play with it. Which one was I doing? I was doing this one here. So this line here, and your nose. And as I say, you should just go online and then just go to, I forgot where I got this from. I'll think of it in a minute. And this guy is a fierce expression. Pinterest. I think I went Pinterest and like even facial expressions. And then a lot of people take pictures of themselves doing that, and that's pretty good doing, you know, if you're drawing a live one. But you don't want to mess up too much. You want to kind of keep your style in doing it. So chin goes in. And as I say, the two most important things are your face and hands. So this here, this nose is going to come up the bottom of the nose. Is going to be where the eye starts. The end of the mouth is the center of the eye, and then you're doing like half, and then the other half. So unless you're doing the crazy expressions, because this one eye could be closed here, and this other eye could be more open more because it's comics. You like. And it's acceptable because you're taking it to the limit. You know, if I have somebody walking, you know, I just don't want, you know, just a little walk like this. I want, you know, leaned over, one arm up, the other arm up, this leg here, that's leg here. So you're taking it to the limit, you know, you're stretching the boundaries of what a person can do, and that just makes for a more exciting anything. A punch shouldn't be just a punch should be like wham, like that. So yeah, you want to do that with everything, even your expressions. So have that. Where was I looking at? Fierce. Of course, if he's mad, he's going to have that eye up. This one eyebrow could be up here. The line is going to go right to the center of this eye. It comes down and it comes out, and you have this cheekbone here. Cheekbone here. It's going to go in because this cheekbone is round. It's going to push that out, and it's going to come back in. And you have this round part right here, the mouth, just kind of like poofs out. It's because of the way the teeth are. Your teeth are, you know, round like that. Not round, but you have that roundedness of your teeth. Just think of somebody with false teeth. It's shaped like that. So when your skin comes over, it's going to go around it and then back down and then come back out for your chin again. So you're going to have that shape. You have this because of your brow. Going to come in, going to go down and out from that cheekbone. It's going to come back in. It's going to round a little bit because of your teeth, and it's going to go back out again for your chin. Come up, and here's your ear. So you just have to know the shapes of the face. Nose, and then that mouth, it goes down. And then tight chin, you have the chin there. You can put the little cheekbone here if you want to, but usually the bad guys have that little indentation. I guess it's from snoring, whatever. I can't think of it right now. All the time. And then that's going to go up, and your head is going to go back, and it's going to go behind the ear more. It's not going to be right here. It's going to go behind the ear because this part, this circle here, is thinner than this little your chin part. So if you turn it to the side, it's going to look like this. So you're going to have more back here than you would here. So if you draw this, and here's the ears there, you're going to put that head back a little bit more than you would have this one. It's still going to be like the same height and roundness, but you're going to put it back a little bit more. Because this, you have your temple, it comes here, it goes in, and that head is going to go behind that ear. I don't like that pen, it's too fat. I need an SX or XS, extra small. Because I've got that in there, I'm going to need my light. So here's your nose curves up, and then here, at the tip, you have that little ball, which is right here. And then you have your nostril, which is like really close to that. And then I try not to put too much nostril, especially for a woman, and end it right here, and then just break that line and then bring it up here. And this guy, he's got, when you get mad, you're going to have that wrinkle right here. And then right here when you're stupid mad. And of course you're going to have that scowl. That's the word, scowl. This is not the one that's writing. I need to throw that one away. And I really don't connect my eyes. I don't have the whole thing. Who was it? I think Jim Lee does that a lot of times. And he was kind of one of the ones when I first started. In order to get a job, I kind of just took his style from him. And then later on, I said to myself, I don't want to be, somebody that draws like this particular person. Because when I went to a couple of the cons, I heard people say, oh, wow, you draw just like this person. And I'm like, no, I want to draw just like me. So I didn't want to be known as, oh, you're another Jim Lee copy, or you're another Silvestri copy, or whatever. So no, I didn't want that. So yeah, develop your own style. Use others' lines to see how they're doing, how they do certain things, but just have your own style with it. Like you can draw whatever, draw it in your style. And it's the little wrinkles and stuff that are in the face that makes your expressions. Let's say you have this sloping head that goes back, and then people are like, how do you do hair? How do you do hair? You find a fashion magazine. See what kind of hair you want. Is it a young woman? Is it an old lady? Is it a whatever? And then just kind of figure out, what kind of hairstyle you want. Long hair, short hair. Your character. It's like people ask me, how can I draw a costume for my character? I don't know what your character looks like. I don't know what powers your characters have. So you got to figure out, what would you wear? If you had that kind of power or that ability, what would you want to wear? Put yourself in the situation of the villain, of the character, of the parent, of the best friend, and then figure out, what would you wear? If I was this guy's best friend and I was 14 years old and you know, I like soccer or whatever, I'd probably wear a soccer jersey. I have a bunch of soccer jerseys. So then the best friend can have a bunch of soccer jerseys because he's a soccer fan. A little hair. And the hair's going to come off. The head. That's another thing when a lot of young people want to do hair. It's like you have your head. And I remember when I was young, the girls used to draw hair like that. It would just come right off the side of the head like this. I mean, the hair was just flat, and so you got to give the hair some kind of body. So if this is a body volume, if this was the female's head right here, face, head, your hair is not wet and just falls off. Your hair, once you do your hair, you're gonna have some kind of style. So your hair is gonna be either, you know, it's gonna be above your head. I'm trying to think of what the top of your head was called, your cranium, skull. So if I'm doing hair, whichever style, let's just do a little short haircut. I'm going to put her hair way up here and then come down off of there. And it may be like a short bob kind of haircut. That way she has a little volume to her head. And then maybe like this going down and some brow. So her head is right here. This is her head. So this is, see how far the hair is coming up off of her head to give her better versus if I did something like this. I'm supposed to be doing faces, drawing, getting better versus something like this. Or however I would have that hair like that. It's just, it's like wet head, you know, no volume to the hair. So just bring that off like a couple millimeters off of the head. Whatever hairstyle you have, you know, just bring it off of the head. It could be a raggedy hairstyle. Don't put it right there. Just give it a little volume to that hair. You can have it coming in the front, have it going in the back, whatever, a ponytail, however, but just keep it off of the head, off the skull, off the top of the head. All right, let's try this one. Oval. Same thing. He's going to be this way this time. Always have your oval. Find your direction line, which is your center line. This is going to be your center line. It's just turned because he's turned. Where am I going to put my eyes? Say about right here. And it's going to be, it is a circle, so it's going to go around. My nose is going to be here, and your mouth is just right under your nose because you have this little piece here. And then your mouth is like right there. So unless you're doing an alien, you have your eyes. Unless your mouth is not going to be way down here like anime. Unless you're doing anime. You have here, remember, wherever your eye is, you're going to have that brow. It's going to come right to that center, back out, down, out at the mouth. But you don't always have to do that because that's more for the older face. A younger kid, his face is going to be just basically kind of roundish. But as long as you know. So this one is here. The nose. The nostril. You don't want to make that nostril too far out because that kind of kills it, especially with a female. At the bottom of the nose, you just a little piece of the nostril, like right there, and you don't have to do this part here. I do this because that's just me. And then up, and you can do the bottom of it, that bridge of the nose, I guess is the bridge where your shadow comes from. Up, and then I'll break it off, and then that eye. So part of the eye is round, of course. You know that's going to be round, so you're going to have the cover here and the cover there. Almost going off. Remember, your eye is going to start here. Depending on, what was I doing? I was doing that particular one. So the best thing to do, let's just say, get everything in there in the proportion that you want. Then you come back and then put your expression in there. Let's just say his mouth is open. I'm still following what the other guys got. So he's got this piece here. You can see some of the teeth. Got that bottom lip. Yeah. Going into that chin. And this one eye is open more. An eraser, I need to break out a new pencil. And his eyes like closed more. All right, so this guy's got that like little disbelief look. He's like, you know, I just don't believe that. You got the one eye open and the one eye closed. With the eyes looking back. You're gonna have that extra piece of fold on the skin. You know, you have your eyes like this, and you have that fold. So what? You're always gonna have that somewhere. Either it's gonna be, you're just gonna see off of one end, like this, or you can see the whole thing, or you're gonna see it off the other end. And depending on the expressions you make. So yeah, that extra piece of skin. If I say that now, you know what I mean by that. And same happens for the bottom sometimes. So you have this brow coming out. Remember, that's coming off the center, and then you're going to come around here. And for the sake of time, I'm going to just do a couple more of these real quick. Just basically reminding you that this is something that phases are very important. They're really important that you need to do. And one guy, he wrote me, and he said he has a hard time drawing the same face over and over again. And my advice was, firstly, don't make your face too complicated, because it's like hair. If I do some kind of crazy hairstyle on this guy like that, which some young kid asked me to do years ago, and I had to say, well, what is that going to look like from the side? What is that going to look like from the back? What's that 3/4 view? So you can't have your stuff so complicated that you can't redraw it again. And he was asking, you know, basically the steps to doing a comic book. And maybe I'll do a video. I said I'll do a video on that to help him and to help you guys if you're really considering doing a comic book. The troubles and the joys that you will run into. And I think I did a video on that a long time ago, but they get lost in the shuffle and people don't go to my videos. They'll go to the homepage and they'll see what's on the front of the homepage, but they won't actually go into the channel and then see what's going on, or what are the other videos that I have. So come on now, Brian. I know you kind of lost it for a second. And the nose, I'll make that nose a little bigger. Since it is a man. When you do nose, a lot of times they'll have this little shadow down there. A lot of artists will put that shadow down there to just show that it's got like kind of a 3-dimension. And as I said, right under that nose, you have this little piece here. And then depending on how it's turned, you're going to see that meat because it's shaped like this. Here's your nose. Here's your nose. Here's that piece like this. Goes like that. But there's going to be that meat because this is going to dip down. And it's going to come up and then down too. So you're going to have that extra piece of meat here. That kind of goes down. I lost that. Into the mouth. The curve to the mouth like that. So you're going to have that little extra piece of meat. It's not an extra piece of meat. It's just the way it's formed. I lost that whole thing. And your shadow, a lot of times your shadow is going to fall in there as well. because of the shadow for that nose. But a lot of people will just put that shadow here. A lot of artists, a lot of people put that shadow there just to, you know, what's happening, camera? Just to show, you know, the direction of the light, the fact that it is shadowed. You have the bridge under there, and you can put shadow under there. And yeah, this video has taken a different direction than what I wanted, but I'm not gonna do it too much. And I say it's not too much. It's not too far under the mouth. But you have to work on these expressions because these little faint expressions could make the could make or break your drawings. Because when somebody picks up your book, the first thing he's not going to look at is, oh, this guy's ripped. You know, you're going to look at, oh, look at the striations in his chest. He's going to look at, you know, the expressions in your face. You know, how is he telling that story? He's telling that story with his face. His hands are telling that story because, you know, he's clutching one hand because of something happened. His cat died, got hit by a train or something, derailed the train. Yes, I said his cat derailed the train. That's what killed him. The impact was so great, he derailed the train. And then sometimes you want to add a little extra lines to show like where the cheekbone is, and a little this, and sometimes in here. One more, maybe two more quick ones, because as I said, this whole video has taken a different direction. I wanted to just draw faces, but you know, I don't want you to just watch me just draw something and not understand why I'm drawing. Because, I mean, you could just look at a cartoon and have the music and the dialogue, the screaming and the you know, the language and stuff. So let me just do two more. Let me do this little scaredy cat guy right here. Just kind of big, fast, oval, direction, eyes, here. Tilt it up a little bit. Here's my nose and here's my mouth. Now, here comes the lesson again. Let's use this. You have your face comes down, wherever your mouth goes across, that's where that like the jaw hinge is. So if I open the mouth, if I open his mouth wide, that's going to bring that hinge open and bring that jaw down just a little bit more to accommodate that bottom lip and that chin. So that's just, you just remember that when you open your mouth wider, your face is going to stretch. That's why you see, what is that? Dragon Ball, when they scream, the mouth is like way out here, like, yeah. But yeah, that's Dragon Ball. So this one, what was that? Where was he just keep screaming? Okay, so here, and here's my chin here, and here's my nose. My nose is gonna be kind of turned up. Turned up nose is just like this triangle. I remember, I think it was lesson 3 when you turn up the face. And your mouth is never going to be crooked. Your mouth is always going to be, it might open, but it's not going to kind of be crooked. But in comics, especially, you know, comics, you want to make it crooked. It just gives it that little extra something when you make a crooked mouth. And if you open it too much, you're going to see those teeth. Open it too much. If you open it wide enough, you're going to see those teeth. These back teeth are flat like this, and then it comes into your front going down teeth. And same thing here. Well, since you're not seeing the bottom of it, you won't see the little flatness of this. So if I drew these teeth, I used to work in a dental lab for a while. So I knew about the teeth, put it that way. You know, the shape of the teeth, because you know I did that for make false teeth. Actually, I worked in the metal room, which made the gold teeth. People wanted the gold teeth, so yeah, another life that I want to choose to forget about. So up here, and this guy's, remember the eyes are always round. So if you're doing expressions, you can start out with the round eyes. So that means the brow is going to go up. And then you put that, not the lid, I get the eyelids on there. As far as the eyelids are going to open, with somebody, you know, doing that particular expression. As I say, in comics, you can go that little extreme. And if you can get that extra skin over there, it's even better. Remember that is going to be in the center. That little piece is going to be in the center of that. Center of your eye. Comes down. And then your cheekbone. Like that. And coming around. So there you're going to have some tongue. And remember this. Bottom of my nose. So I'm going to curve my nose at the bottom because this whole face is round. So I'm going to curve that. And then bring it up. And since this is like this, it's going to be like that. So we're going to have those nostrils. And then since this is the inside of the mouth, you're going to have the bottom of the mouth here, which leads to that chin. So you're going to have room for that chin, but the chin is going to be, what, tight, because the mouth opened up wider. So yeah, remember, the hinge is like right here. So if I bring this chin up, or this chin up, it's going to turn and go up right there. That's going to be the hook. Sometimes you'll see it on this side. Sometimes you won't. A lot of times, if I do, I'll just slightly see it. But then the skin is between this and that. Slightly. And it depends on the angle. This, I could bring this out more. Like that. And then, of course, your eye, your ear is going to be between the top of the eye and the bottom of your nose. And this is something I got from Jim Lee when he does ears. You do the ear shape like that. And to give it that in or out, I can't explain that. Just you put this top line here, then you go in from there. And that gives it like that. It's got some this way and going down kind of thing. And then, you know, you have this little flap here and it curves up. And then I'll put just the dark areas in here. And here, I mean, ear is a little complicated, but that's just my style in doing the ear. So, as far as the nose, since you're seeing the bottom of it, you're going to have that split. That split. You have a little piece right here that goes up into the little bulbous area of the nose is flat. And that should have been straight, and then you have the bottom like that. So that nose will be like kind of roundish like here, and then it goes in and up. But I would not keep all these lines. I definitely wouldn't keep all the lines. Just have the lines. And you have this piece here, so you're gonna have the top of that mouth. Usually a man, I'm not gonna have a lot of lip to a man. You have this piece again right there. So, you know, I would not have drawn these all the way around, but I was just doing that to show you how that nose functions. And when you pull, you're gonna have that stretch on that face too. Always some shadow under that bottom lip, and then goes into that chin. It's gonna suck in and come around the teeth. Gum. If you open your mouth too much, you'll see the gums. Some of the gum. And then of course the mouth, the tongue, which goes back, and you can like shadow that off, round it off. Maybe another tooth there, and the rest will be black. A lot of shadow in there, shadow here, and you can kind of like fade out right there. That chin, jawline turns here, the eye, because of the lash, those extra skin. Come on, Brian, you're rushing now. the eyebrow. Like that. Remember that little piece dips in because you have that brow here, right there, the hard part. And then comes in, cheekbone goes in. You can have the skin suck in a little bit here if you choose. Remember the jaw line is right here if you have that extra, depending on where your face is turned. Bring that cheek over a little bit more. Here, we'll have a lot of that. And then remember behind the ear, because this is going to come up into that brow. It's going to suck into that brow, not brow, the temple. So for something like that, I would just make the eyes small, the pupils dilated. And then of course you have your shadow under here. And then that wrinkle there. And for something like that, I would probably like do some extra kind of like surprise or worry lines. And then however you want to put your hair again. It's going to come off the head. And then what do I have? I think that's about it. And you kind of feel where you want to put your neck. Put the one behind the ear. And this one could be here. You don't want to way out here unless he's like, big, crazy muscular in his shoulders. Like that. It's going to come in because you have your collarbone here. And you have two muscles that come from behind the neck. Or go right up to the neck, the ear. And you have that dip and you have your Adam's apple in here. And then they're always going to go right down into this little U, which forms your, which this is collarbone. I told you when I ink and draw, I can't talk. When I draw and talk, it's good. When I start inking, collarbone, which leads into your delt. Since that's going to be the angle, the delt goes all the way behind the back. It separates as like 3 heads to the delt, or 3 muscles that connect to the delt, and it's your chest. And then it depends on, it goes up into that delt. I'm going to do one on muscles, how muscles connect. And then you have your chest. So yeah, it's not a body drawing thing. It's a face drawing thing. So I guess I would do this, and then some of that nose can come out like this, and you can curve it in. And a lot of this would be like shadow, like put this under there. Since that's a ball, the shadow's going to come here and maybe there, depending on where your light is. And then there, because I said the nose is more like this, that little bulbous piece right there. And then you have this, you have your nostrils, thank you. And then you have this part that comes down here. And it kind of like ends. But you have this big fat piece. I think it's like that. And you have the little bridge part. And then that goes right up in over the eye. So you have this round piece. So if you ever do like shading, and I'm going to do a video on basic shadows, it's going to be, because it's more of a ball, it's going to be shaded like this. And then, of course, the underneath piece. Like that. So just remember, this is a ball. This little end here is like this little ball. And since this is like 40-something minutes, I'm just going to end it right here because you have a lot of lesson and not too much drawing going on. And you have more shadow in here. It's darker in here. And it fades. You get more light on the outside of the eye because this is kind of like deeper in. Like that. And the same thing for here. You get more shadow here and less as it goes out. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this one, this lesson. This lesson is going to be over in just a few seconds. As soon as I finish, stop drawing. I said to myself, I'm going to stop drawing on this. But when you're having fun, you don't want to stop. And that's what drawing is about, just having fun. And remember, you got those muscles here that kind of go like this, and then your neck. So they come out. They don't dip in, they come out. Like that. So yeah. That's going to be it for this. Shade the back of that tongue. I thought that was going to be it, Brian. Yeah, well, I said that. I'm just kind of like looking at my drawings, looking at the drawings. Of course, I said it's going to be shaded here and then that there, and some crow's eye, the crow's feet right there. If it's an old guy, a little bit of shadow right there. Enough. Call it a day. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Day 16 is over tomorrow.